What if the evidence in a crime was so disturbing that it stayed with investigators long after the case was closed? Evidence so chilling, it left law enforcement searching for answers long after the investigation ended. These are the cases where the evidence is more than just clues, it's a glimpse into something much darker. From unsettling discoveries to twisted motives, these cases challenge everything we think we know about crime. These true crime stories raise more questions than answers and continue to haunt those who investigate them. Stay with us as we uncover 8 real-life criminal cases with evidence that still disturbs investigators. Let's begin. 1. The Louvre heist, stolen treasures from the world's most visited museum. Imagine the world's most famous museum, the Louvre in Paris, exposed to one of the most daring heists in recent history. In October 2025, a group of thieves dressed as construction workers brazenly broke into the Louvre. With security cameras malfunctioning and the security system's password weakly set as Lou, they infiltrated the building in less than 5 minutes. Their targets: priceless historical artifacts valued at over $12 million. However, they accidentally damaged one of the most coveted items, the Crown of Impressi, an item that was later recovered. As shocking as the theft itself was, what came next made this case even more disturbing. The thieves acted with near-total impunity. Though some suspects were arrested, the full extent of the stolen treasures is still unknown. This heist not only highlighted severe security lapses but also opened up unsettling questions about how easily treasures can disappear from under the noses of the world's most watched institutions. 2. The Amsterdam knife attack, a random act of violence. In March 2025, Amsterdam's busy streets were rocked by a chilling attack when Roman D., a Ukrainian man, began stabbing strangers in the St. Nicholasat area near Dam Square. Armed with multiple knives, Roman struck indiscriminately, injuring 5 people before attempting to flee. His vicious spree was cut short when a British tourist managed to tackle him and restrain him until the police arrived. It was later revealed that Roman had deserted the Ukrainian army and was suffering from brain injuries that led to concerning behavior. Authorities speculated that his actions were motivated by extremist views. While he only claimed 1 life, the randomness and violence of his attack left the city shaken. The shocking element was not just the attack itself, but the investigation into what pushed Roman to this violent act and how much of it could be linked to his unstable mental state. 3. The Pitești prison re-education experiments, 1950s. The Pitești prison in Romania became infamous for its horrifying re-education experiments during the communist regime in the 1950s. Political prisoners were subjected to intense physical and psychological torture to force them into submission. The goal was simple: break their will, strip them of their beliefs, and convert them to communist ideals. Between 1949 and 1951, prisoners were forced to make confessions they didn't commit, publicly humiliated, and subjected to coerced renunciations of their religious and political beliefs. The brutality of these methods, including psychological manipulation, left deep scars on the survivors, and an indelible mark on those who investigated these crimes. To this day, the atrocities that occurred within Pitești prison remain one of the darkest chapters in criminal history, raising moral questions about the lengths some regimes will go to maintain control. 4. The Haitian Island Invasion Plot, 2025. In one of the most bizarre and disturbing true crime cases of 2025, 2 Texas men, Gavin Weissenberg and Tanner Thomas, plotted to invade a Haitian island with a twisted plan to take over the land, murder the men, and enslave the women and children. They spent over a year preparing, enrolling in military and firefighting training to execute their brutal scheme. What makes this case particularly chilling is the fact that they even attempted to recruit people from Washington, D.C.'s unhoused community to aid in their invasion. Fortunately, law enforcement uncovered the plot before it could be carried out. The evidence of their preparations, the sickening nature of their plans, and their complete disregard for human life shook authorities to their core. As disturbing as their actions were, it's still unclear what could have driven them to concoct such a horrifying plan. 5. The Karen Read Case, a framed murder. In 2022, John O'Keefe, a police officer in Massachusetts, was found severely injured outside a friend's house during a snowstorm. His girlfriend, Karen Read, reported him missing when he failed to return home. Days later, O'Keefe was found dead. Read was charged with fatally running him over with her vehicle, but she maintained her innocence, claiming she was framed. Despite Read's conviction, she was acquitted after a hung jury. But the controversy didn't stop there. In November 2025, Read filed a lawsuit against Massachusetts State Police, alleging that they had set her up for O'Keefe's murder. Her case shed light on the possible corruption within the police department and the role the real killers may have played in framing her. This case remains unresolved, and the disturbing evidence continues to stir questions about justice and accountability. 6. The Hamburg train station attack, 2025. On a Friday evening in May 2025, a terrifying scene unfolded at Hamburg's central train station, one of the busiest transport hubs in Europe. The station was packed with commuters and tourists, enjoying a typical evening of travel. Suddenly, chaos erupted when a woman, later identified as Lydia S., began randomly stabbing passengers with a knife in an indiscriminate attack. The crowd, caught off guard and in fear, scrambled to escape, but the violence was swift and unsettling. Lydia's violent outburst only ended when two courageous individuals, Mohammed al-Mohammed and Abu Bakr Sadiagaya, stepped in to subdue her before the police could arrive. Their quick thinking and bravery helped to prevent even greater harm, though the damage had already been done. Lydia was eventually arrested, and it was discovered that she had a history of severe mental health issues. In fact, she had been released from a psychiatric hospital just the day before the attack. While no lives were lost during the rampage, the event left deep psychological scars on those who witnessed it and raised serious concerns for law enforcement. The fact that Lydia had been out of care only a day before the attack brought to light the ongoing issue of how individuals with serious mental health conditions are monitored and treated. This incident also highlighted the frightening reality that, in crowded public spaces, random acts of violence can occur, leaving communities in fear. 7. The disappearance of Alyssa Turney. On May 17, 2001, 17-year-old Alyssa Turney disappeared from Phoenix, Arizona, after an argument with her stepfather, Michael Turney, who claimed she ran away. He said they fought over her desire for more freedom, and she retreated to her room. When Alyssa was last seen, she had left behind her cell phone, purse, car keys, and favorite clothes, things no one believed she would just walk away from. Initially thought to be a runaway, the case quickly turned suspicious as evidence began to suggest foul play. In 2020, Michael was arrested for her murder, but by 2023, the charges were dropped due to lack of evidence. Alyssa's whereabouts remain unknown, and her sister Sarah continues to push for justice. The case remains a haunting mystery, and a documentary is set to delve deeper into the unsolved disappearance. 8. The Lonzie Barton case, a tragic tale of abuse and neglect. Lonzie Barton, a 21-month-old toddler from Jacksonville, Florida, went missing on July 24, 2015. His mother's boyfriend, Ruben Ebron, initially reported the child missing, claiming his car had been stolen with the toddler inside. However, the story quickly changed multiple times, and it became clear that Ebron had something to hide. After months of searching, Ebron eventually led investigators to Lonzie's remains under a stack of tires in Bayard. Ebron later confessed that the child drowned in a bathtub while he and Lonzie's mother were engaged in an inappropriate act in another room. Shockingly, the toddler had suffered rib and skull fractures before his death. Ebron was sentenced to 20 years in prison for aggravated manslaughter, child neglect, and tampering with evidence, while Lonzie's mother received just 5 years for her role. The case continues to highlight the devastating effects of child abuse and neglect, and it serves as a reminder of the importance of vigilance and reporting suspected abuse. There you have it, 8 true crime cases with disturbing evidence that continue to haunt investigators and the public alike. From chilling heists and random stabbings to tragic murders and unsettling plots, these cases remind us that sometimes reality is more terrifying than fiction. The evidence in these cases raises important questions about justice, morality, and the limits to which some criminals will go to achieve their twisted goals. What are your thoughts on these cases? Which one left you speechless? Let us know in the comments below. If you found this video gripping, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more dark, mysterious, and shocking true crime content. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video.